righty. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in this great big world. All right, so let's take a look at some stocks and determine where we're going to buy them, what we're going to stop out at them, and take a look at stocks. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through what I do when I look through the key list, because stops, where stops go, where stop placement will be at, is a huge factor in whether or not I'm interested in a particular trade. So I'm going back to Friday, June 2nd, and we'll just start at the top of the list here and take a few. GRBK. GRBK had a trigger price of 49.5. So let's just zoom in here and take a look at what we were looking at on Thursday. Thursday, 6/1. Okay, so 49.5 is right about there, okay, close to there. And where's my stop going to be? Down here under low a day, right? 49.5 down to 47.5 roughly. Okay, $2 risk. Sounds reasonable, right? It looks reasonable. And during the course of the day, if it breaks down to the mid-range of this candle, I would probably sell half of what I bought. So this would be something that would go on. And I'd put my stop down here under low a day at 47.58 or something. What's our low on this? 47.60. 47.60 is our low. So, 47.58, 47.54, something like that. And then, like I say, during the course of the day, I would put a stop midway through this range, say about 48.5 or 48.40, somewhere in there, to sell half of what I bought on the breakout. Okay, if it broke out. So let's take a look and see what it did. Go one candle, one bar into, this is Friday. So it triggered the low was 49.18. And so it triggered at 49.50 right in there and never looked back. So, that's great. I would then move my stop that would have been split. I put half of it here and the other half of it here. I'd move it up to, say, right in this range, just maybe $1 or so below my entry price. All right, and through the wonders of modern technology, we are back after the phone call. Okay, sorry about that. Let's see. We got green brick, so we covered that. Let's take a look at FMX. FMX. I just have some notes on my key list, so I'm just going to go here. Yeah. Okay. So FMX had a trigger 102.40. 102.40. Oops, one more. There we go. So this is what we're looking at Thursday night ahead of Friday's market open. And it's on the key list for 102.40. So our trigger price is right up in this range, right above these tops. Where is our stop going to be? Down here under low a day at about 120 cents. Okay. So $2.20 risk, that's about 2% roughly. Okay, maybe a little bit more, but I'm good with that. I'm good with taking a moderate position in this that is reasonable to what's going on right now in the market. Okay, it'd be a small position, probably 20% to get started, and see what it does. Again, I'll split that stop and I'll sell half. So I'm going to buy it up here at 102.40. But if it breaks down to the mid-range of this bar to 101.10, okay, so roughly about $1.30 loss, I would sell half those shares. And then if it broke down below low of day, I'd sell the rest. So let's go ahead and see where it goes. Okay, so it did trigger, right? What's the high? Oh, the high is 102.58. So it just barely triggered, 102.40. So we're in the thing. We've got stop on half about midway through this candle and then a stop on the rest underneath here. So I would move, going into Monday, I would move my stop from underneath this bar and I'd move it all to right in this range, right at this 101 range right here, and give it just a little bit of room, see if it's going to, if it pulls back to the middle of the range, I'm going to be gone. Let's take a look and see what happens. Okay, good. So it did. It worked out. And sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. But what you got to remember is that you just keep pitching. You keep hitting or whatever, whichever you want to do. You got to keep taking trades so that you get good at this, and your batting average will increase as you take more trades that are quality setups that make sense. So here I would say, it's closing at the top of the range. We didn't really get a pickup in volume. I'd like to see a little bit of a pickup in volume on that, but I would move my stop then to right up and maybe just under this bar a little bit, maybe the 101.75 area or something like that. Okay. Again, I'm just picking spots on the chart, and I think the most important thing that I want to get across here is just pick a spot. Be diligent to pick a spot. Make it reasonable, but don't question yourself. Gosh, should I go under low a day here? Or should I go under low a day here? Or should I, evaluate the volume on a lower time frame and see? No. Just pick a spot and start to get comfortable with making trades and moving forward, right? That's the goal here. Let's take a look and see what it did. This would be Tuesday, right? See if I'm tracking right. We're on 6-6. 6-6 is Tuesday. Okay, so it just had a sideways day. It did run up and pull back a little bit. I probably would have sold a little bit into strength up here. Maybe 20% of my 20%, something like that. I'm pretty quick to sell in this market, pretty quick to pair it off. And okay, so it popped in and sold off a little bit on this day. Not real exciting, is it? And then today we gapped down a little bit and we're moving up. So it's only, let's see, we got about an hour and 15 minutes to go. So the volume is going to be, maybe it's going to hit average, and that's about all it's going to get. And I think that takes us into, that's it. Okay. So that's what I'm doing to pick spots, to place stops. Let's go through. Let's just take a look at, let's take a look at LRCX. I know this is kind of another favorite too. 625.50. And I can tell you already I'm not going to like this. 625.50. So right in this range is where the entry point is. Where's my stop going to have to be? 625. It's going to have to be down here in this range, 605, roughly $20. I don't know. That's a big number. Now, if we were strongly trending, if it was a market that had strength and we weren't doing this whip and chop, that'd be a different story. But I'm not looking at this and saying, well, $20 out of 620 is only X percent. What I'm looking at is that's $20, okay, times whatever number of shares I buy. So I would take a pass on that. Now, here, you see this base along here? Okay, this is something that I would like much better. Okay, where's your trigger? Above this bar. So let's call it high 533.50. So roughly 533 and 60 or so. I won't be able to get my mouse right on it. My hand shakes too much. All right, so there we go. And where's my stop going to be? I'm at 533 half or so. My stop is going to be down here at 520, so $13. Certainly something less than this 20 was, right? I like that better. It's just, and it's tracking along the 8, because what happens is my stop's going to be here at about 520, roughly 521 maybe, and what's corresponding with that? The ADMA. Okay, I like that kind of a setup. I just I like it where my stop is going to have to, where the product is going to have to come down and test a moving average in order to trigger. So something I do look at. Let's see what else we got here. I don't know what was Google doing. Yeah, I don't think so. Too many wide bars there. FWRG. Yeah, lots of wide bars. AEHR. I'm just looking at the key list, just going through a few here. Yeah, kind of extended. I would have taken a pass on that. Of course, I didn't dial it back, did I? Let's get with the program here. Get with the program. All right, so back it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And Oh yeah. Okay. So it was. Yep. So the buy price, the trigger is $39. He had to make a big move to get up to that $39. So that's something I don't care for. So I would have taken a pass on that. Let's just see. Was I wrong? I was wrong. Okay. So it worked out very well. But I have a very short-term memory. I mean, I probably knew that a few days ago, but I don't remember this stuff. I never ever go back and look to see what I didn't make or what triggered that I didn't get, or I don't ever do that. It's just a waste of my time, and I really hate it when people say that. No, I missed this. Oh, I don't care. It doesn't matter. You shouldn't care. You shouldn't care either. Put your efforts into something that's going to work for you today, tomorrow, next week, whatever. But going back and looking at all this stuff, because there's a whole heap of gob of stuff you missed, right? We do every day. Every day there's stuff. We see articles. Oh, this move, that. So what? There's always another opportunity. All right, so let's go on into AMD. Let's see what AMD looks like. AMD, been a good move this year. There we go. And our trigger is 121.30, 121.30, so just above this bar, right in that range. I can get on board with this. I kind of like this. So 121.30 with a stop down here at about the 116 half point. Okay, right there. That's not bad. What does it coincide with? The ADMA. It's got to come down there. It's got to touch off that ADMA in order to get my stop. I like it when I've got those multiple touches that are required in order to trigger. Let's take a look and see how it worked. Okay, the next day gapped up, sold off, but it didn't come down to the 8. So I might have sold half, during the course of the day. Very possible. It all depends on how I looked at volume on a lower time frame and seen if there was checked to see if there was volume coming in. Maybe I'd have seen it. Maybe I wouldn't have. Volume is hard to spot. I know Pat talks about it a lot, but Pat is a volume savant. Okay, then we're out. So gone. Didn't work. Okay, next day it worked. Right. So no, it failed after all. Market, you can't get rid of the whip and chop, can you? All right, so that would have been a fail. Been out of that with a little bit of a loss. Okay, let's just PDFS. Let's do one more. PDFS. And 43.40 was the trigger price. And 43.40, so above these tops. Where's our stop going to be? 43.40 is going to have to come down here at about 41. Yeah, 41.40. So a couple of bucks. Long bottoming tail here. So this is a very bullish bar for the day. And it did it on less volume. Okay, if you look down here. It came down and touched off that ADMA on decreasing volume. Now, was the volume off for the entire day? I think maybe it was. I don't know. I don't remember exactly. But for a $2 loss, I would take something like this and I would put half here because this is such a nice long bar. I'd put half of my stop here and then the other half here. And just kind of keep track of that thing during the day, and let's take a look and see what it did. And it would have been gone. I'd have been out of it. So that didn't work at all, because it would have been down here under low a day. It would have fired off. In fact, on this gap down, when it gapped down, I would have given it a few minutes and then gotten out. I wouldn't even have waited for this, because it just shouldn't do this, right? In my mind, I don't want to see this happen like this. I don't want to see the gap down. I mean, overall, yeah, it kind of sort of worked. We're almost back up to our buy point, but I don't want to go through that emotional roller coaster. Just not interested in doing it. And then, of course, the next day we've got a big topping tail, And now it's starting to shape up a little bit more, but it just took too many days to get there. And I would have been glad to be out with a little bit of a loss, 43.40 down to about the mid range, 42.40. So about $1. Well, that'd be a little bit more because it gapped down. So a little bit more than $1 loss. I'd have been happy to be out of that. All right, so that one didn't work. Let's take a look at one more just to see here. D-Dog. This has hit our radar a number of times over the years, been very good to us. I like that coming across here, but I'm not going to be real aggressive with it because it took a long push to get up here, right? What do we talk about when we look at moves like this? This move is not sustainable, but this sideways action is healthy. That's good. We like to see that. And if you notice, it's doing it on a little bit of a decrease in volume. I like it. So let's go back. We already did go back. Let's take a look and see where 97.5 is our trigger. 97.5. So Pat's going above this bar. Ooh, that's a long way up there. I can tell you right now, I wouldn't do it because I don't like it having to move so far to get up there. Right? Right now we're at 95 roughly, and it's got to move to 97.5. It's got to move $2.50 to get up there. I wouldn't be jumping into this thing. Not to mention the fact that my stop would have to be down here under 92 for about a $5.50 loss. I'm not going to go that. Not in this market. Let's see what happened. It gapped up. Look at that. Wow. Okay, so it did work. Oh, it didn't work so well. So this is why, if you'd get into something like this, you'd have to be really quick to sell it in strength. It looks good. When it first pops up there, it's like, oh, I missed that. Well, yeah, but, it opened here, shot all the way up here. You'd have had to have been right on it during the course of the day to sell some into strength, which, of course, Pat would be because he'd have alerts set on all this. You'd have to be on top of it to sell some into strength up here. And then as it came back down through your buy price, you'd want to, or your the opening price, you'd want to sell some more. So you have to really tightly manage this thing. But overall, that's ugly. That's an ugly day on a pretty good pickup in volume. All right, I said I was going to do one more because the last one didn't work. Let's take a look at the next one on the list, which is Smart Sheet. Let's see what we got here. And we are looking at an entry up here of 49.80, right about there. So it's got to travel a little bit of ways to get there. Where's my stop going to be? Down here under 48, so roughly a $2 stop. Some pretty big moves in here, right? These bars are $2, roughly $2. This is a $2 move right here. This is not quite that. So, sometimes you have to kind of look at the move. You call it the average daily move, or there's a term for it that it's just escaping me at the moment. Average daily range, I think, and check to see, does it make sense to do that? You can just size up the bars and say, the average move is about this big, so this move is going to have to be. Am I really going to want to be in that? And probably not. Okay, DraftKings. We're just on a roll, aren't we? All right, so our trigger price is going to be 25 even. And our stop is going to have to be down here under, right about 23. Of course, sell half right in this range. 25 down to 24 to sell half. Oh gosh, it's just a tough call. I don't remember exactly what the market was doing. I think at the time it was starting to firm up, but I guess I would look at this and say that's this average true range right through here is pretty good size. I'd probably take a pass on it. Let's go ahead and see what it did. See, this is why the market is so tough. Gapped up a little bit and moved up. So good until it didn't. But that's what makes this market so tough. You got to be quick to sell some into strength. Tesla. Let's see what see. This has been an add-on position for me, so it would have been a little bit easier for me to deal with because I've already got shares of Tesla. The trigger is 209.90, 209.90, so right up in this range. And where would our stop be? Call it 210, and our stop would be down here at about 199 for all the shares. Right here in the middle would be 50%. So you'd be risking 5 on half and 10 on half. And I'll tell you what, I'm of the mindset when I set those, and I do set them when I buy. So if I have a buy stop on this, I'll put in an order that's triggered when that buy is filled. But if during the course of the day it comes down and it starts to touch off in the middle of that bar, I'm likely just to go ahead and sell them all. Okay, it's just because of the way Tesla can move. I'm pretty quick to move on that. But let's see what it did. Oh, and it worked. Okay, it worked out well. And I guess I knew this, but I forget, you know. So still in with a nice move, and it's had a nice gap yesterday, and nice little move today. So things are working well with Tesla. I know Pat is doing a video. That was him on the phone a little bit ago. He's doing a video. He's going to compare and contrast some things that are in an IBD article talking about where they were talking about a number of stocks that have moved this year, and most of them have been keyless stocks. So that video should be interesting. I hope that answers your questions on stops. Like I say, just pick a spot and make sure your stop is in. Split them. Put 50% on, part way through, and then the other 50% all the way through. But always have stops in place, even if you're in front of your computer. I'm in front of my computer a good portion of the trading day, but I like to have stops in place. Okay. I just think it's a way to go. I'm big in automation. I like to turn things over to control of the computer to the computer, and it just relieves stress, which of course is something that we all strive to do. I hope that helps. If you guys have any questions, just let me know.